Have you ever checked your blood sugar in the morning and wondered why it was already high before breakfast even started? Many people with diabetes go to sleep believing they did everything right, only to wake up with elevated fasting glucose, low energy, cravings, dry mouth, or brain fog. What surprises many diabetics is that the first meal of the day can shape blood sugar levels for the next 8 to 12 hours. A sugary breakfast, processed cereal, sweet coffee drinks, white bread, or even healthy low-fat snacks can create a rapid glucose spike followed by an energy crash that keeps insulin working overtime all day long. But certain foods behave very differently inside the body. Instead of flooding the bloodstream with sugar, they slow digestion, improve fullness, support insulin sensitivity, and help the body release energy in a steadier way. In today's video, we'll explore the top 3 morning foods every diabetic should eat daily to support lower blood sugar naturally. These foods are rich in fiber, healthy fats, plant protein, minerals, and powerful compounds that may help reduce glucose spikes, improve cravings, support heart and nerve health, and even help stabilize fasting sugar levels over time. The first food helps calm hunger hormones and reduce breakfast crashes. The second creates a fiber-rich gel that slows sugar absorption naturally. And the third delivers steady energy while supporting insulin response and metabolism. By the end of this video, you may never look at breakfast the same way again. First on the list, nut butters. Nut butters may look simple on the surface, but inside the body they behave very differently from the sugary breakfast spreads many people eat every morning. While jams, chocolate spreads, sweet cereals, and processed breakfast pastries can rapidly raise blood sugar, natural nut butters digest slowly and release energy in a more controlled way. This slower digestion matters because many diabetics experience their biggest glucose spikes in the morning. The body naturally releases hormones like cortisol and glucagon after waking up, and these hormones can push extra glucose into the bloodstream even before breakfast begins. This is one reason fasting blood sugar may appear high in the morning. Starting the day with balanced fats and protein instead of fast sugar can help reduce that roller coaster effect. Among the best options are almond butter, peanut butter, and pistachio butter. These nut butters contain a powerful combination of healthy fats, plant protein, magnesium, vitamin E, fiber, and antioxidants that may help support insulin sensitivity and stabilize post-breakfast glucose levels. Natural almond butter, for example, has a glycemic index close to 0 because it contains very few rapidly absorbed carbohydrates. 2 tablespoons of almond butter usually provide around 7 grams of protein, 18 grams of healthy fats, and about 3 grams of fiber. It also delivers nearly 20% of the daily value for magnesium and over 45% of the daily value for vitamin E. Magnesium plays an important role in insulin function because insulin depends on magnesium to help move glucose into cells more efficiently. Many diabetics are actually low in magnesium without realizing it, especially those struggling with frequent urination, stress, poor sleep, or muscle cramps. Peanut butter is another surprisingly powerful morning option when chosen correctly. Natural peanut butter without added sugar or hydrogenated oils contains protein and fats that slow the speed at which carbohydrates enter the bloodstream. This slower digestion may help reduce sharp glucose spikes after breakfast. 2 tablespoons usually provide around 8 grams of protein, healthy monounsaturated fats, and important nutrients like niacin and manganese. Peanut butter also supports fullness hormones such as peptide YY, which may help reduce overeating later in the day. Many diabetics notice that when breakfast lacks protein and healthy fats, cravings increase by mid-morning. This can lead to snacking on sugary foods, sweet tea, or processed snacks that continue the blood sugar cycle. Nut butters help create a longer-lasting feeling of satisfaction that supports steadier energy. Pistachio butter is less common but incredibly interesting for blood sugar control. Pistachios naturally contain compounds linked to better endothelial function, which refers to how well blood vessels relax and circulate blood. Healthy circulation matters deeply in diabetes because high glucose levels may gradually damage blood vessels supplying the nerves, kidneys, heart, and eyes. Pistachios also contain lutein and polyphenols that support oxidative stress reduction. Oxidative stress is a condition where unstable molecules damage cells over time, and chronic high blood sugar increases this stress throughout the body. Starting the morning with pistachio butter may help create a steadier metabolic environment instead of triggering rapid glucose fluctuations. One reason nut butters work well in the morning is because they help slow gastric emptying. This simply means food stays in the stomach longer and enters the bloodstream more gradually. When digestion slows slightly, blood sugar often rises in a gentler curve instead of a sudden spike. This effect becomes even stronger when nut butters are paired with fiber-rich foods like chia seeds, oats, berries, or whole grain toast. For example, spreading almond butter over whole grain toast instead of sugary jam creates a much more balanced breakfast. Adding cinnamon or chia seeds may support even steadier glucose release. There is also growing interest in how healthy fats influence appetite hormones like ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is often called the hunger hormone because it signals the brain to eat. Leptin helps signal fullness and energy balance. Processed sugary breakfast can disrupt these hormones, leading to hunger soon after eating. Nut butters contain fats and protein that may help keep these signals more balanced. This is one reason many people feel more stable and focused after a breakfast rich in healthy fats compared to sugary cereal or white bread. Here's something many people misunderstand about nut butters. Some assume all nut butters are unhealthy because they are high in calories. But calories alone do not tell the full story. A food that digests slowly and supports fullness behaves very differently from highly processed foods that spike blood sugar quickly. In fact, several studies have shown that moderate nut intake may support weight management and better metabolic health when portions are controlled. The key is choosing natural nut butters without added sugars, corn syrup, or hydrogenated oils. Many commercial brands secretly contain large amounts of sugar that can completely change how the body responds. A simple diabetic-friendly breakfast idea is mixing 1 tablespoon of almond butter with plain Greek yogurt, chia seeds, and a few berries. This combination provides protein, fiber, healthy fats, and antioxidants while remaining much gentler on blood sugar than many traditional breakfasts. Another option is adding peanut butter to oatmeal instead of brown sugar. The fats and protein may help slow how quickly the carbohydrates from oats affect glucose levels. Some people even blend pistachio butter into smoothies with unsweetened almond milk and cinnamon for a creamier breakfast that supports fullness for hours. Research has also linked nuts with improvements in fasting glucose and insulin response in some individuals with type 2 diabetes. One study found that regular nut consumption was associated with improved blood sugar stability and better cardiovascular markers. This may happen partly because nuts contain arginine, magnesium, fiber, and unsaturated fats that support metabolic function. Some findings suggest regular nut intake may help reduce post-meal glucose spikes by nearly 20 to 30% when replacing processed carbohydrate-heavy foods. While results vary between individuals, the overall pattern continues to show that nuts behave differently from refined breakfast products. Another important benefit involves heart health. Diabetes and heart disease are closely connected because elevated glucose can gradually damage blood vessels and increase inflammation. Nut butters contain monounsaturated fats that may help support healthier cholesterol balance. Almonds and pistachios especially contain antioxidants linked to vascular protection. Since many diabetics also struggle with high triglycerides or blood pressure, starting the morning with healthier fats instead of processed breakfast oils may support long-term cardiovascular health. Here's a helpful tip many people overlook. Store natural nut butter upside down before opening. This allows the healthy oils to redistribute naturally and makes stirring easier without needing additives. Another smart strategy is portion control. Even healthy foods should be balanced. Most diabetics do well with about 1 to 2 tablespoons at breakfast. Eating directly from the jar can unintentionally increase calories quickly. One important thing to remember is that flavored nut butters marketed as honey roasted, chocolate swirl, or low fat often contain added sugars or processed oils that can work against blood sugar goals. Low-fat versions are especially tricky because manufacturers often replace fat with sugar or starch to improve flavor. Reading labels carefully matters more than marketing claims. The average price of quality natural nut butter in the United States ranges from about $6 to $14 depending on the type and size. Almond butter and pistachio butter are usually more expensive than peanut butter, but even small amounts can go a long way because they are very filling. And while nut butters can support blood sugar control, balance still matters. Eating very large amounts may increase calorie intake too much for some people, especially if physical activity is low. People with severe nut allergies should obviously avoid them entirely and discuss alternatives with their healthcare provider. But healthy fats and protein are only one piece of the morning blood sugar puzzle. The next food works differently inside the body. Instead of slowing digestion mainly through fats, it creates a unique fiber-rich gel that physically changes how glucose moves through the digestive system. And this tiny seed has become one of the most fascinating breakfast foods for blood sugar support. Second on the list, chia seeds. Chia seeds may be tiny, but inside the body they create surprisingly powerful effects that make them one of the most interesting morning foods for diabetics. Unlike processed breakfast foods that digest quickly and flood the bloodstream with sugar, chia seeds absorb liquid and expand into a thick, gel-like texture. This natural gel slows digestion and changes how carbohydrates move through the digestive system. For many diabetics, that slower movement can mean steadier energy, fewer glucose spikes after breakfast, better fullness, and improved appetite control throughout the morning. One of the biggest struggles many diabetics face is the rapid rise and fall of blood sugar after breakfast. A meal high in refined carbohydrates may create a sudden glucose increase, followed by an energy crash, irritability, cravings, and hunger soon afterward. Chia seeds work differently because they contain large amounts of soluble fiber. Soluble fiber mixes with water and forms a soft gel that slows how quickly food leaves the stomach and enters the bloodstream. This slower release can help reduce sharp blood sugar swings that often happen after breakfast. Just 2 tablespoons of chia seeds provide around 10 grams of fiber, nearly 5 grams of protein, and healthy omega-3 fatty acids. They also contain calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, manganese, zinc, and antioxidants. In fact, 2 tablespoons may provide nearly 35% of the daily value for fiber and around 23% of the daily value for magnesium. Magnesium matters greatly in diabetes because it helps support insulin signaling and glucose metabolism. Many people with insulin resistance unknowingly consume too little magnesium, especially if their diet is high in processed foods. The glycemic index of chia seeds is extremely low because they contain very few digestible carbohydrates. Their glycemic load is also very low, making them a gentle food choice for many diabetics. Instead of rapidly converting into glucose, much of their carbohydrate content comes from fiber that the body digests slowly or not at all. This is one reason chia seeds are often included in diabetes-friendly meal plans focused on stable blood sugar. But chia seeds do more than simply slow digestion. Their fiber may also help feed beneficial gut bacteria. Scientists are becoming increasingly interested in the connection between gut health and blood sugar control. The gut microbiome affects inflammation, metabolism, appetite hormones, and insulin sensitivity. When beneficial bacteria ferment fiber, they produce compounds called short-chain fatty acids that may support better metabolic health. In simple terms, the fiber inside chia seeds may help create a healthier digestive environment that supports steadier glucose control over time. Another reason chia seeds work well in the morning is because they help increase fullness naturally. Many diabetics struggle with mid-morning cravings, especially after eating sugary breakfasts or highly processed snacks. Chia seeds expand significantly after absorbing liquid, creating a feeling of volume inside the stomach. This may help reduce hunger and make it easier to avoid overeating later in the day. Some people notice they feel satisfied for hours after adding chia seeds to breakfast. This fullness effect may also influence appetite hormones. Foods rich in fiber and protein may help stabilize hormones linked to hunger and satiety. Instead of triggering rapid hunger shortly after eating, chia seeds support a slower, more gradual digestive process. This matters because frequent snacking on refined carbohydrates can keep blood sugar elevated throughout the day. There's another interesting benefit many people overlook. Chia seeds absorb a large amount of water, which may help support hydration. Hydration is extremely important in diabetes because high blood sugar can increase fluid loss through urination. Some diabetics experience dehydration without realizing it, especially if blood sugar remains elevated for long periods. Starting the day with hydrated chia seeds may support fluid balance while also slowing digestion. One popular myth is that chia seeds must always be eaten dry for maximum benefits. In reality, soaking them is often easier on digestion and allows the gel-forming fiber to fully activate. Dry chia seeds absorb liquid very quickly, and eating large amounts without enough water may cause digestive discomfort in some people. Soaking them for at least 15 to 30 minutes creates a softer texture and may improve comfort for sensitive stomachs. A simple diabetic-friendly breakfast idea is chia pudding made with unsweetened almond milk, cinnamon, and a few berries. This combination provides fiber, antioxidants, healthy fats, and very slow glucose release compared to sugary cereals or pastries. Cinnamon may also support insulin sensitivity in some individuals, making it a popular addition to diabetic breakfast recipes. Another easy option is stirring 1 tablespoon of chia seeds into plain Greek yogurt or oatmeal. Some people even blend chia seeds into smoothies for extra thickness and fiber without dramatically affecting taste. Research into chia seeds continues to grow. Some studies suggest that diets rich in soluble fiber may help improve fasting glucose levels and reduce post-meal sugar spikes. Certain findings have linked high-fiber diets with improved insulin sensitivity and lower A1C levels over time. Some evidence suggests fiber-rich foods may reduce post-meal glucose rises by slowing carbohydrate absorption and improving metabolic responses. While chia seeds alone are not a cure, they may become a powerful tool when combined with balanced eating habits and regular activity. Chia seeds also contain antioxidants that help fight oxidative stress. Oxidative stress increases when blood sugar remains elevated for long periods and may contribute to damage involving the nerves, blood vessels, kidneys, and eyes. Antioxidants help neutralize unstable molecules called free radicals that can damage cells over time. This protective effect may support long-term health beyond simple glucose management. Heart health is another important area. Diabetes significantly increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, and chia seeds contain omega-3 fatty acids linked to heart support. Omega-3s may help support healthier triglyceride levels and reduce inflammatory stress in the body. Combined with fiber, these healthy fats make chia seeds especially interesting for diabetics concerned about both blood sugar and heart health. Here's a helpful tip many people don't realize. Chia seeds pair especially well with protein-rich breakfasts. Combining chia seeds with Greek yogurt, eggs, nut butters, or quinoa creates a more balanced meal that may provide steadier energy throughout the morning. Fiber alone is helpful, but combining fiber with protein and healthy fats creates even stronger glucose stability for many people. The average price of chia seeds in the United States usually ranges from around $5 to $12, depending on organic quality and package size. Even small amounts go a long way because only 1 or 2 tablespoons are typically needed per serving. One important thing to remember is that portion balance matters. Eating very large amounts of chia seeds too quickly may cause bloating or digestive discomfort in some people, especially if fiber intake was previously low. Increasing fiber gradually while drinking enough water usually helps the body adjust more comfortably. But while chia seeds slow digestion and support fullness through fiber, the next morning food works in a completely different way. It provides a rare combination of slow carbohydrates and complete plant protein that helps create steady energy without the rapid crashes linked to many traditional breakfast grains. And unlike many breakfast carbs that spike glucose quickly, this ancient food releases energy in a much gentler and more balanced way. Third on the list, quinoa. Quinoa may look like a simple grain, but nutritionally it behaves very differently from many breakfast carbohydrates that cause rapid blood sugar spikes. In fact, quinoa is technically a seed, and it has become one of the most respected breakfast foods for diabetics because it combines slow-digesting carbohydrates, fiber, and complete plant protein in one balanced package. Many breakfast foods are either high in carbs and low in protein, or high in sugar and low in fiber. Quinoa stands out because it delivers steady energy instead of the sharp glucose rise and crash that many diabetics experience after eating refined cereals, white bread, pancakes, or sweet pastries in the morning. One reason quinoa works so well for blood sugar control is its relatively low glycemic impact compared to many common breakfast grains. While sugary cereals and white flour products digest rapidly, quinoa releases glucose more gradually. This slower digestion can help support steadier morning energy and reduce post-breakfast glucose spikes. Quinoa has a moderate glycemic index that is generally much lower than many processed breakfast foods, and its glycemic load remains relatively balanced when portion sizes are controlled properly. A cooked 1-cup serving of quinoa provides around 8 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, magnesium, phosphorus, manganese, folate, iron, and potassium. It also contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it one of the rare plant foods considered a complete protein. This matters because protein helps slow digestion and supports fullness. Many diabetics who eat low-protein breakfasts feel hungry again very quickly, which may lead to snacking and unstable glucose levels throughout the day. Magnesium is another major advantage of quinoa. 1 cup may provide roughly 28% of the daily value for magnesium, a mineral strongly connected to insulin function and glucose metabolism. Magnesium helps cells respond more effectively to insulin, and low magnesium levels have been associated with increased insulin resistance in some individuals. Many people with type 2 diabetes consume less magnesium than recommended, especially if their diet relies heavily on processed foods. Quinoa also supports energy differently than refined breakfast carbs. Highly processed carbohydrates can create a fast rise in glucose, followed by a rapid drop that leaves people tired, shaky, or craving more sugar. Quinoa's combination of protein, fiber, and slower carbohydrates creates a steadier release of energy. This may help reduce the mid-morning fatigue that many diabetics experience after sugary breakfasts. Another fascinating benefit involves appetite control. Fiber and protein work together to increase fullness and reduce the speed of digestion. This can help stabilize hunger hormones and reduce cravings later in the day. Many diabetics struggle with constant hunger because repeated glucose spikes and crashes can disrupt appetite signals. A more balanced breakfast may help create steadier metabolic patterns that improve satiety naturally. Quinoa also contains antioxidants such as quercetin and camphorol, plant compounds linked to reduced oxidative stress and inflammation. Chronic high blood sugar increases oxidative stress inside the body, which may contribute to long-term damage affecting blood vessels, nerves, kidneys, and eyes. Antioxidants help neutralize unstable molecules that damage cells over time. This protective effect makes quinoa especially interesting for long-term diabetic support beyond simple carbohydrate management. Many people assume quinoa is too carb-heavy for diabetics, but this is one of the biggest myths surrounding this food. Not all carbohydrates behave the same way inside the body. The structure of the carbohydrate, the amount of fiber, protein content, and overall nutrient density all affect how glucose responds after eating. Quinoa behaves much differently than refined grains because its fiber and protein slow digestion naturally. Portion balance still matters, but quinoa is generally far gentler on blood sugar than many processed breakfast foods. One particularly helpful aspect of quinoa is its versatility. It can replace sugary cereals, processed granola, or white toast while delivering more nutrients and better satiety. A simple diabetic-friendly breakfast bowl can be made by combining cooked quinoa with unsweetened almond milk, cinnamon, chia seeds, walnuts, and a small handful of berries. This creates a powerful combination of fiber, antioxidants, protein, healthy fats, and slow-release carbohydrates that support steadier blood sugar levels throughout the morning. Another excellent option is savory quinoa breakfast bowls. Many diabetics actually respond better to savory breakfasts because they contain less sugar overall. Quinoa pairs well with eggs, spinach, avocado, olive oil, and vegetables. This kind of breakfast provides protein, healthy fats, fiber, and minerals while avoiding the rapid glucose spikes linked to sweet breakfast products. Research involving whole grains and high-fiber diets has shown promising effects on insulin sensitivity and glucose regulation. Some studies suggest replacing refined grains with whole grains may help reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes and improve metabolic markers over time. Quinoa's nutrient profile makes it especially valuable because it combines whole grain benefits with unusually high protein quality for a plant food. Quinoa may also support heart health, which is extremely important for diabetics. Diabetes significantly increases cardiovascular risk due to chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and blood vessel damage linked to elevated glucose. Quinoa contains potassium and magnesium, minerals involved in healthy blood pressure regulation and vascular function. Its fiber may also support healthier cholesterol balance when combined with an overall balanced diet. Digestive health is another area where quinoa may help. The fiber inside quinoa supports bowel regularity and beneficial gut bacteria. Scientists now understand that gut health strongly influences metabolism, inflammation, insulin sensitivity, and even appetite regulation. A fiber-rich breakfast may support healthier microbial diversity inside the digestive tract, creating benefits that extend far beyond digestion alone. There's also an important practical advantage. Quinoa is naturally gluten-free, making it useful for individuals who experience sensitivity to wheat-based breakfast foods. Some people notice less bloating and steadier energy when replacing refined wheat breakfasts with balanced whole food alternatives like quinoa. Here's a helpful preparation tip many people overlook. Rinsing quinoa thoroughly before cooking removes natural compounds called saponins that can create a bitter taste. Cooking quinoa in low-sodium broth or unsweetened almond milk instead of plain water can also improve flavor significantly. Cinnamon, vanilla extract, nuts, or berries can create a comforting breakfast taste without relying on heavy sugar. The average price of quinoa in the United States typically ranges from around $5 to $10 per pound, depending on the type and brand. White quinoa tends to be softer and milder, while red and black quinoa have slightly firmer textures and earthier flavors. All varieties offer similar metabolic benefits. One important thing to remember is that portion control still matters even with healthier carbohydrates. Large servings may still raise blood sugar more than expected, especially if combined with sweet toppings or dried fruits high in sugar. Most diabetics do better with moderate portions paired with protein and healthy fats for balance. Another smart strategy is meal preparation. Cooking a larger batch of quinoa ahead of time makes it easier to build fast breakfasts during busy mornings. Many people fail to maintain healthy breakfasts simply because they rely on convenience foods when rushed. Having pre-cooked quinoa available can make balanced eating much easier. When nut butters, chia seeds, and quinoa are combined together, they create a breakfast pattern built around slow digestion, stable energy, improved fullness, and reduced glucose spikes instead of sugar crashes. Rather than forcing the body into repeated highs and lows, these foods work with the body in a steadier and more supportive way. Small morning choices repeated consistently over time may help create meaningful improvements in energy, cravings, fasting glucose, and overall metabolic health. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more science-backed diabetes tips every week on Diabetes Healthcare. And tell us in the comments, which of these morning foods do you already eat daily? Your experience may help someone else manage their blood sugar naturally.